Omega officially launched the mysterious Seamaster 300M from the wrist of Daniel Craig, the X007 performer. I can understand why they made this launch as a throwback to the GoldenEye 300M, and it's beautiful. But as design decision, owning all three platforms, I was able to follow their evolution, and it feels the Bond theme is right, but the platform isn't entirely. Technically, the new 300M Duo aims to sit as a side collection in the actual Seamaster lineup. Call it a Heritage Edition or Bond Edition, but the aim of the lineup is to create a connection between the first Bond watch and the last one. Luckily, I have both, we can review them together and spot the highs and the lows. It was definitely time to bring contrast to their divers, because due to either reflective dials, patina or fumée, the Seamaster wasn't an inclusive diving tool anymore. But once with this edition, we can recall the contrast is right, and I think it is brilliantly balanced. Daniel Craig, the former 007, wore this watch as a premiere at the Olympics this year. I think this is not by accident, it feels Omega has a plan to leak their releases, bringing controversy and curiosity to their watches. As well happened a few days ago where the same actor wore apparently the gold version of the same watch with a burgundy dial. The second model released the silver dial with the vertically brushing, looks well refined. I believe in person is a killer watch but has an unfortunate contrast, reminding me too much about their special Olympics editions with a Seamaster type of an embossed bezel. And the third edition will probably be the gold version with a burgundy bezel created in the same color palette of the Speedmaster Moonshine, which will be launched at some point as well. But let's look at the roots of the new 300M, because by combining these two models, basically they created the black dial version. Firstly, the decision of adopting for the 300M models a Milanese bracelet with straight lugs, it's either brilliant or sloppy. I can't decide. In a way, it feels cheap, because I find it like a budget compromise when as a brand you can't afford to offer a fully refined bracelet and you have to stay in the price range indicated. More than that, for me the No Time to Die version, it kinda made sense, having the aim to create a super lightweight tool for James Bond. The addition of a lightweight but formal bracelet made all the sense in the world, because this couldn't be achieved with a fully titanium bracelet with classic links and an adjustable clasp, especially not with the actual Seamaster bracelet without a taper. On the other hand, visually it feels it brilliantly balances the shape of the case, because the case feels asymmetrical, having an outer bezel in the shape of a flower if you want. And those straight bracelet lugs create sufficient air or space to the case to be read accordingly. This combo with the Milanese works with all 300M models, no matter the generation. So there is something about the case spacing against the lugs, which creates a clear architecture between the case and the secondary bracelet pattern. The comfort matters as well. The way the bracelet hugs the wrist, it's unique because it creates a sandwich effect. The case basically ties up to the clasp, the sides of the bracelet, putting basically zero pressure on the wrist. And guess what? With the addition of the Milanese bracelet, this was actually an important move in the watch world, because it serves as an inspiration for other brands, which adapted this principle of Milanese to their bracelets. An example can be this Heritage ZRC. I'd say it's a fortunate example, I love the brand. The Seamaster 300M with a ceramic dial and bezel is almost out of trend. But hey, if Tudor did it with their new Black Bay, tweaking the model to expand its lifeline, Omega can do it as well, right? The way I see the life cycle of releases, for Omega it was time to change the platform to meet the sizing trends or to tweak this one to keep it appealing, and the No Time to Die model was the secret. Basically, once with the success in sales of the very specific movie prop No Time to Die model, Omega understood that the Seamaster 300M needed a change. The watch still looks amazing, and it is still above a Rolex Submariner in my opinion, but unfortunately in a robust way I find it too big, too heavy and too tall in my opinion, creating the feeling of sitting above the wrist as a volume instead of getting buried on the wrist. And the 007 edition kind of addressed some of these aspects, that's why it's a big difference between them. With the aim to get rid of the pebble shake the feeling created on the wrist, they decreased and hide the Naiad lock of the case pad, but also they added a pop to the dial with the discrete box crystal. They make the lug tips shorter, they remove the date wheel, and as a result, the watch feels cryptically sculpted and the profile lays down beautifully on the wrist surface. A different caliber was accommodated as well. It is the Omega 8806, basically the no-date version of the 8800, with the same coaxial superior META certified movement, anti-magnetic with the same power reserve of 55 hours. It's basically the same 007 edition caliber because they share exactly the same case design. The difference is in weight. The stainless steel black version has 154 grams, where the titanium version has only 93 grams. The difference in price being the stainless steel version is 6.5k, where the no time to die is 10 grand. In one of my vacations, I had the ambition to take the 007 edition with me, to see how it performs to saltwater, legibility, or just to capture its overall experience. I was about to make a video to complain about the lack of contrast of this No Time to Die model, basically in the era where it should deliver the most. When I reviewed the Bond version, a lot of people wrote me complaining about the movie prop aspect combined with the severe patina or the lack of contrast as a proper tool against the dial tone, and I didn't believe them. But by testing it myself on the seaside, I do agree now that the No Time to Die model delivers more as an everyday watch or as a desk diver, but not so much as a tool underwater. And I think this is a problem which Omega solved with this clear contrasted black and white version. I think to keep the perception that the 300M can still be a reliable tool watch, this muted black and white version was needed. I find it interesting how they revived the wave pattern of the GoldenEye model, a motif specific for the 90s. I think it works very well with the actual design, creating a beautiful connection between the first and the last design iterations of the Bond 300M. And I believe in Flash the wave pattern will provide the right balance in different lighting conditions, the waves this time being engraved and not embossed as the GoldenEye model. It is very interesting how they managed to create an aluminum bezel to engrave the numerals and fill them with lume. Basically, the insert needs to be super thin to be accommodated inside the bezel, and I simply can't explain to myself how they did it. Initially I thought this was a matted ceramic insert. The addition of the lumed bezel is quite exciting because on the day use it feels like a simple heritage diver watch, but during the night it feels like a sophisticated high-tech tool watch with colored lume, the minute hand matching the bezel pip color in green, the rest remaining in the iconic blue Swiss Superluminova. The baked powder within the markers does not exceed the metallic frame, exactly as they did with the No Time to Die model. The ceramic Seamaster, if you remember, had domed surfaces. It's exciting, I'm not gonna lie. I can see it in the future as an upgrade in contrast to the No Time to Die model. However, with all these changes due to the downsizing trends and the brilliant wearability of the 41mm GoldenEye Seamaster 300M, I think it's not enough. And Omega should start thinking about replacing completely the model with a new platform to get it closer to the first Bond watch, because that blue Seamaster was incredibly well tailored to sit on the wrist. After all, when you launch a totally new model, you have to come up with sufficient enhancements in order to create the perception that this is a fairly brand new watch. And the change of the diameter might be the key and the answer. Concluding that it's not enough indeed with this edition, there is still lifeline, but not sure if with these new models can cover the gaps of chasing the crowned Submariner. So yeah, these are my thoughts in regard to the new Seamaster 300M release. I'm really curious to know what do you think about this new model, the black or the silver dial. Please let me know in the comments below. And as usual, if you're new around, please consider subscribing for future episodes. Thank you very much, thanks for watching, and until next time, be brave and stay safe.